What's up, everybody? Next week, I'm going to be screening the Coen brothers' breakout film Fargo from 1996. So I figured we'd do a little watch-along with one of my favorite scenes. We're going to watch the scene all the way through once because we really need to hear this fabulous dialogue. And then I'm going to go back and do a little commentary as we rewatch the scene again. The scene is an essential genre obligation scene in that it is an essential piece of information as part of the criminal investigation. It's important to remember that the Coens exist in a long American legacy of crime, drama, crime thrillers, crime novels, noir, and they are really excel in bringing and updating that genre for the big screen.
Officer Olson.
Yeah, righto. Well,
Mr. Mohra.
So I'm tending bar down there at Eklund and Swedlin's last Tuesday, and this little guy's drinking, and he says, so where can a guy find some action? I'm going crazy out there at the lake. And I says, what kind of action? And he says, woman action. What do I look like? And I says, well, what do I look like? I don't arrange that kind of thing. And he says, but I'm going crazy out there at the lake. And I says, yeah, but this ain't that kind of place.
Uh-huh.
He says, oh, so I get it. So you think I'm some kind of jerk for asking, only you don't use the word jerk.
I understand.
Then he calls me a jerk, says last guy thought he's a jerk is dead now. So I don't say nothing. He says, what do you think about that? And I says, well, that don't sound like too good a deal for him then.
You got that right.
Yeah, he says, yeah, that guy's dead, and I don't mean of old age. And then he says, geez, I'm going crazy out there at the lake.
White Bear Lake?
Yeah, well, at Eklund and Swedlin, that's closer to Moose Lake, so I made that assumption.
Oh, sure.
Anyway, he's drinking at the bar, so I don't think a whole great deal of it. But then Mrs. Mohra, she heard about the homicides down here and thought I should call it in, so I called it in. End of story.
Well, what this guy look like, anyways?
Oh, he's a little guy, kind of funny looking.
Uh-huh. In what way?
Oh, just in a general kind of way.
Okay. Well, thanks a bunch, Mr. Mohra. You're right. It's probably nothing. But thanks for calling her in.
Sure. Looks like she's gonna turn cold tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Got a front coming in.
Yeah, you got that right.
Film is always described as a visual medium, and we can talk all day long about the incredible visual storytelling of someone like a Bresson or a Kurosawa, what have you. But, you know, as a theater guy myself, I also really appreciate scenes where we just have characters talking. When done well, it can leave a really, really powerful impression. I'm thinking everything from like B.B. Anderson's memorable orgy monologue from Persona, all the way to George Costanza in Seinfeld telling a story about leaving a woman's house because he had to use her bathroom and the apartment was too small. These moments stick with us because it's so true to life. We tell far more stories about things that happen to us or things we heard than do cinematic worthy events happen in our lives, hopefully. And thankfully, this is something that the Coens do so well. Okay, we're going to watch this again, and I'm going to turn the volume down. Okay, so we start with this wonderful POV shot from the cop car framed by DP Roger Deakins. You can see there's water all over the road. That's because it was unseasonably warm in Minnesota while they were shooting Fargo. It's something that the Coens constantly had to battle during production because they wrote this very snowy script, and there was no snow. We've got Officer Gary Olson, a completely inconsequential character, rolling up here. And this takes place about 2/3 of the way into the film. This is the critical piece of information that's going to lead us to our Act 3 climax. I love that this scene takes place all in a single extended two-shot with their parkas almost covering their faces. It kind of forces the audience to like peer in closer, like we really need to listen and hear. But it's also incredibly economical. It's worth remembering that this film came after the biggest bomb of the Coens' career, the Hudsucker Proxy in 1994. So this was really a make-or-break film, and they had a pretty small budget for it. So they had to make smart choices. It's pretty incredible that this film also launched them on an incredible run where they did Fargo, The Big Lebowski, and Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? We have Bain Bulke here, who plays Mr. Mohra. Bain Bulke was a local actor and director in Minneapolis, but he had been born in a small town up north near the Canadian border, so this accent is completely authentic to him. Mr. Bulke says that he showed up to set, did not rehearse at all, doesn't even remember meeting the Coens, and came out and just delivered this straight up. One of the things that I appreciate so much about Bulke's performance is just how dry and simple and deadpan is. It's so often that theater actors, myself included, will get onto a film set and really start chewing the scenery. They'll start overacting and overplaying all the moments, you know, because you're used to being on stage where, you know, there's this feeling that you have to project and be big for an audience. He does everything so, you know, down. He does it everything. He lets all the subtext sit on top of the lines. He was handed a broom in the scene. He was handed a broom because of the unseasonably warm weather, and he said no self-respecting Minnesotan would ever broom their own driveway in the winter. Instead, he believes that they would use a shovel. He didn't even go see the cast and crew screening because he thought that this was going to be some cheap indie home movie type deal, and was quite shocked when the film not only blew up, was nominated for multiple Academy Awards, but that his performance in particular was one of the most memorable scenes in the movie, and to this day, he still gets fan letters from people quoting his scene back to him. If you enjoyed this and you want to learn more about the Coen brothers' masterpiece Fargo, come out to Cine in Athens, Georgia. Next week, January 15th, I will be talking all about the production of this film, why it's so important, and why it will go down as one of the greatest films of the 90s, and maybe one of the premier pieces of American crime cinema. See you then.
Let's all go to the lobby.